What's going on, guys? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano live stream. Today we are live streaming with Elliot from OccamFi. He's going to give us an account of what's going on with OccamFi, what they are, the products that they are building. They have a launchpad, they have a bridge between Ethereum and Cardano. We'll talk about all of that, and any questions you guys have, leave them in the comments and we will get to them towards the end as well. So Elliot, very welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming on.
Hey Paul, it's great to be here. I'm a follower and a fan of your show, even before I joined Occam. So yeah, it's good to meet you.
Oh, great to hear. So look, let's just jump straight into it. What's the elevator pitch for OccamFi for anyone who's new who hasn't heard of you guys before?
Sure, yeah. So Occam is a decentralized launchpad, and in fact, it's an entire DeFi ecosystem. So our launchpad, which is called Occam Razor, hosts IDOs, which is an initial decentralized offering. So basically, we let innovative companies, some of which you can probably see on our background behind me, and we let them do capital raises through our platform. This is decentralized, so any participant, as long as they meet regulatory requirements, can participate without necessarily going through a third party. So you give funds direct to the contracts which raise funds, and also we have a number of reward mechanisms which rewards participation in our platform. But we're not just the launchpad, so we're also building out loads of other components for Cardano. So we're building a DEX. We've recently developed the Ethereum to Cardano bidirectional liquidity bridge. It's just a bit of a mouthful, but maybe we can talk about that later. And we're exploring loads of other things as well. So we also have like a incubator program, and we're really here to build for Cardano and expand the ecosystem.
Great. So let's start on kind of right now. You guys are an ERC20 token. So over on Ethereum, for anyone completely new to this, why start with an ERC20 and when can we see you on Cardano?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question, actually. I'm glad you asked, and something we get asked quite regularly, and we see it in comments. And I actually wanted the opportunity to respond to this. So obviously, smart contracts will become available on Cardano through the Alonzo hard fork, which is scheduled for a little bit later this year. I'm really excited for Alonzo to arrive. But when Alonzo does arrive, there's going to be this explosion of dApps on Cardano. And what we really need to do as an organization and as a group is get a presence in the market first. And at the moment, that has sort of precipitated our launch on Ethereum. That doesn't mean to say that we have any preference for Ethereum, and we're definitely going to move over onto Cardano as soon as those components are ready. So one of the first things that we did was mint a number of our OCC tokens as counterpart tokens on the Cardano blockchain, ready for this transition. We also have a number of our developers in the Plutus Pioneer program, and we're already building out these components ready to just transition over to Cardano as soon as those are ready. So that's always been in our in our pipeline. But for now, the reason why we launched as an ERC20 token, and the reason why we currently have Solidity-based smart contracts running our infrastructure, is because we wanted to establish a presence in the space, get our names out there as being a trusted launchpad. And then prove that we're here for Cardano by developing these components. And like I say, with our incubator program, we also help the companies that are IDOing with us to build out Cardano components as well. And we have pretty strong links, which will probably become more apparent in the coming weeks with Cardano. So yeah, we're really excited for the future of Cardano.
Great. Yeah, if there is anything coming up in the next few weeks, we can always do a quick segment in some of the videos as well, if there's something you want to put out there. So on when we get smart contracts, can we expect you guys to port over straight away? Will there be a waiting period in terms of when you will be able to actually use the Cardano blockchain for your launchpad?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of waiting periods, I wouldn't say if the components are ready, we'll move as soon as they're ready. Obviously, we want to be fully audited and make sure that all of the components have no flaws in them. Obviously, we're as prone to human error as any other project. So what we'd really like to do is get all the Plutus smart contracts ready and have them audited by a company. So I think maybe Well-Typed are, doing Plutus and Haskell auditing. Obviously, it'd be quite interesting to see actually, and this is maybe going off on a tangent a little bit, but at the moment we have like Certic and these big audit firms that are super trusted in the space, and it'd be really cool to see if they offered smart contract audits for Plutus based and Haskell based smart contracts. But as soon as we're absolutely sure that those contracts and components are ready, we will port over. Yeah, it's definitely like top of our agenda.
Great. Actually, for anyone watching, if you share the video out, it will help get it out there. I know YouTube doesn't send out the notifications that it used to. So if you think others can benefit from this, please do give the video a like, share it out there, or leave your comments down below. That really helps push it out there as well. So just on that with the auditing, that is good to hear. I think I see in some spaces that there are people just rushing to be the first one out the door on day one. And yes, that can go really well and it can be great to be first out there. But if a project launches too early and there's a bug in the code or there's an error or something like that, then it can just kill the project completely. So to me, waiting an extra few days or a few weeks isn't a big deal. With us in Cardano, we're well used to waiting for something good to come. We're well used to waiting that little bit extra. So it's good to hear that the security is being kept in mind there. And just on the smart contracts, will your full launchpad be running on top of Cardano then, rather than just being on Ethereum?
Yeah, absolutely. So the full launchpad and all of the smart contracts that are associated with, the IDO raises, they will be launching on Cardano. So they'll be implemented in Plutus smart contracts. Perhaps if relevant and necessary, we could also explore some Marlowe smart contracts. As I say before, our developers are in the Plutus program, so I'm pretty sure all our smart contracts right now have been built out in Plutus, and these are already being written, so this is already in the pipeline. But yeah, just maybe going back to the development philosophy, and it's interesting you should say about Cardano, we've waited, but that's proven to be a really good strategy, right? Because the quality of the components and the quality of the development environments that IOHK have built. Okay, so one of the core criticisms, and I've been part of the Cardano community since 2017, is things have taken quite a long time. But I mean, look at the quality that we've got in return for that. And I think everyone's super excited to see Alonzo launch. And that's sort of the same development philosophy that we've gone for. So as you say, like, it can be good for people to have first mover advantage. But then if it breaks a month or 2 months down the line, it's all over. So we would rather really make sure that we have all these components ready. And that includes some of the things like we're going to talk about later, like the bridge and this sort of thing. So yeah, we've been busy in the background building.
Great. Yeah, like as I say, you can do 10 things right, 10 things really well. And if one thing goes wrong in a big launch like that, then it can undo everything. So it's always worth double, triple checking everything that there's no bugs that is going to cause issues for people. So moving on to the bridge then, you guys announced, I don't know, was it last week or the week before? That's when I reached out to see, did you want to come on just to talk about it? You've released your Ethereum Cardano bridge. So currently OCC tokens can be ported over from Ethereum over to Cardano. Right now, there probably isn't much need for that until we get smart contracts. But do you want to talk around the bridge, what it is, what it actually means in the bigger picture?
Sure, yeah. So I actually can't remember if it was 1 or 2 weeks ago now. I think 2 weeks, but everything's been moving so quickly. It's hard to keep track. So the Ethereum to Cardano, we always call it a bi-directional bridge. So you can move, you can move value from ERC20 to Cardano native tokens or vice versa. So it's useful for a few reasons. It promotes interoperability, but it also allows easy value transfer from Ethereum to Cardano. And it's a good point that you raised that you can't really do much now until the smart contracts are ready. But we really wanted to get, ourselves thinking about, what can we build on Cardano or launch or deploy on Cardano right now, but also the projects that launch through us. We want to say, look, you can already mint your counterpart tokens on Cardano. You can let people hold those Cardano tokens. So the time to start thinking about deploying fully for Cardano is now. It's already available. So we want people to, use those Cardano native tokens right now. Unfortunately, all like the staking smart contracts and that sort of stuff will come after. But essentially what the bridge does is it takes an ERC20 token, and if it has counterpart tokens on Cardano like we do, so we've minted OCC on both Cardano and ERC20, it lets you swap the ERC20 tokens for Cardano native tokens. And what happens is, say you swap 2000 OCC as ERC20 to Cardano native tokens, our custody partners at Bitcoin.com exchange will sort of lock the Ethereum tokens. So it'll lock 2000 ERC20 Ethereum token, OCC tokens. And then you'll be issued with 2000 OCC ADA tokens to your like Cardano address or Cardano wallet. So there's always the same circulating supply, but you just get it in on a different blockchain. So we're really looking forward to when you can actually do something with those ADA, OCC Cardano native tokens. That'd be really cool if you could stake them through Daedalus or something like that. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I suppose right now for you guys anyway, your utility still needs the smart contracts on Cardano, because we'll get into the Launchpad in a few minutes. But in order to be a part of the Launchpad, people need to essentially stake or get into the smart contracts there. But for some of the other projects that are launching, maybe they don't need that initial utility, so they can already start porting over some of the tokens. So right now it is OCC is the proof of concept to show that it's more than proof of concept, it's a working product now to show that the transfer is working. Will that be opening up for other tokens in the next while as well?
Yeah, so we already have Starsys, which maybe we can talk about later. They'll be using the bridge for their Eurobat stablecoin. But essentially any ERC20 token can use the bridge to swap onto Cardano native tokens, as long as they have the counterpart assets available as Cardano native tokens. So we're going to encourage all of the projects that IDO through us to issue those counterpart assets on Cardano native tokens ready for when they move their infrastructure across. And then if their holders choose, and if they don't need access immediately to smart contracts, they can hold the token as a Cardano native token. That means they can have it in their Daedalus or their Yoroi wallet, or even stick it on their ledger. So it's it's a good way of making projects think about the future and the future of building on Cardano.
Yeah, like right now, 2 months might seem like a long time, but things are moving very fast. And provided we do get smart contracts at the beginning of September or whenever, sometime in around that, then that's when I think we really will start seeing action on the Cardano blockchain. Start seeing, like, even I'm out there looking for projects to see what's going on out there. And every day I'm finding more and more projects that I heard nothing about before this. And I think once we get smart contracts, that's when we're going to see a lot of these coming to light as well. So you did mention Stasis. I am not sure the pronunciation of the name, but that is a euro-backed stablecoin. And for me, being in Ireland, euro is the currency I use. It's great to see stuff like that coming to Cardano. Do you want to talk around that a bit? You guys have a partnership or you're helping them port over part of their token to Cardano?
Sure, yeah. So we're building together, and it's sort of like a strategic partnership in that we're exploring options for building stablecoin solutions together. So yours, UERS, is their Eurobat stablecoin from status. And that's already available as an ERC20 token, and it's already had over, I think, 500 million transactions or 500 million transacted in that stablecoin. So it's already a really popular option. But essentially what they're doing is minting the counterpart number on Cardano, and then our bridge will let people transfer over the ERC20 stablecoin, euro-backed stablecoin, onto Cardano. So then you'll be able to transact a euro-backed stablecoin like one-to-one with other users of Cardano. And for that, I mean, all you really need is the token itself. So for instance, I could open up Daedalus and say I had 500 euros. I could send them to your Daedalus, and that would be redeemable. It'd be pegged to the value of the euro. So I mean, it's one of the first. I think it's the first euro-backed stablecoin to arrive to Cardano. So it's really, really exciting. Hopefully, it could spark the next wave of cross-chain transfer, value transfers, currency transfers. With transaction fees being so low on Cardano, I think there's a real opportunity there for stable coins and for foreign exchange as well. So maybe XRP needs to watch out on that. Cardano's coming.
Yeah, like across crypto, generally, anytime I talk about anything to do with crypto, it's referenced in USD. So seeing more options coming out for euro stablecoins it's a great sign to see. And hopefully other projects, I presume they will be able to use the stablecoin then to build other utility on top of it. We see on Ethereum what they do with stablecoins, the interest, the yield and everything that's done there. So I'd say we will see lots of products like that on Cardano in time as well. So where are we then? And I have a few notes here of what I wanted to ask you. The availability of assets, we talked about that, on which ones can be, and basically any ERC20 token can be converted over. In time, they will be added to the platform. And just with your own token, actually, will you convert all of the OCC tokens over to Cardano, or you will still keep the bridge open all of the time, even though your utility essentially will be on Cardano?
We'll probably keep the bridge open. I mean, we'll look to use the OCC Cardano native token equivalent as our principal token. Once the smart contracts are available, that will become like the leading token. But the bridge can also be thought of as a good way to move value from Ethereum to Cardano. So once you move the ERC20 token to Cardano, and that ERC20 token becomes locked with custody partners, and maybe there'll be more custody partners in the future, it's basically the value is gone or taken away from Ethereum, and then it's moved on to Cardano. So as a tool to grow the Cardano ecosystem, it would definitely make sense to keep it open. And I think just going back to like the stable coin as well, and how we see the DeFi landscape of Cardano growing. I mean, these are tools to transfer value, but they're tools like trading tools as well. USDC Tether is used primarily as a hedge against volatility. And when those things start becoming available on Cardano, and you can move in and out of markets, and you can move in and out of tokens, the DeFi landscape of Cardano is really going to take off when all these things are available within the Cardano ecosystem, and you don't have to go to a centralized exchange and swap out for Tether or something. You can just move quickly back into a euro-backed stablecoin. So they're all like the building blocks, and I think people have been calling them the Lego blocks of the DeFi ecosystem on Cardano. So yeah, it's a cool time.
Yeah, that's actually, I forgot to mention that, just that it is a really great option to have. Look, we see the volatility even between USD and the euro at the minute. Who knows what's going to happen there with inflation in different countries and stuff like that. So for people like me who use euro day to day, then it's great to have the option to go to a euro stable coin rather than going into USD, potentially losing there as well on the conversion over to euro on the other side as well. So bring it on then to your own Launchpad. So we've talked about the gateway and everything there. So you guys also operate a IDO Launchpad to help projects launch, projects that are looking to build on top of Cardano. You have the Launchpad for that as well. So you done your own initial IDO on the Launchpad, and at the time I did comment on it as well. There was a few issues at that stage. I would say all part of learning. Do you want to talk around that, or where that has led to now?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about that. So I came on with OccamFi like 2 months ago, which has gone really quick. So a little bit after the initial IEO of IDO, sorry, of Occam. So I mean, basically the issue there was that there was such a high volume that was totally unexpected. So basically the offering of the OCC token via the Occam Razor platform was to show that the Occam Razor platform worked. What the team could have done is just go straight to Uniswap, which is, you know, what a lot of other platforms would have done. And yeah, okay, everyone could have bought the token from Uniswap there and then, but it would never prove that the launch pad was ready. But obviously there was an absolutely huge demand there for the OCC tokens.
Yeah, I remember being there that day.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, I mean, I tried to get in there as well. You know, I wasn't working for Occam yet, and I couldn't. Like, there was such a huge demand there. But it was never meant to host a full raise on the platform. It was only meant to show functionality. So I think that was one thing. And then the price of the tokens was actually cheaper on Uniswap after, so it actually would have been advantageous to get in on the secondary markets. But I think in terms of what Occam's done to move past that, I mean, we've started a lot of different programs. So now we've got the Accelerator program. We're looking at how we can incubate Cardano projects and take them to the next level of funding. And we also want to prove that we're here for the good of the Cardano ecosystem. I guess my hire was sort of part of that as well. So I used to work for the Cardano Foundation, super passionate about Cardano. And then we've also got we've started our technical series where we're going to be looking to deep dive into some of the issues that the Cardano ecosystem is facing at the moment and how we can overcome them. And we're also launching an RFP scheme. So we're going to have requests for proposals. So such as yesterday, we announced that we released an article on concurrency, which is the problem of multiple users trying to access the same DEX at the same time, essentially. And Cardano, because of its extended UTXO accounting base model, model not accounting base like Ethereum.
Yeah.
It makes it quite hard to have a DEX in the traditional sense that you would see on Ethereum. And we think this is a really important problem. So we're probably going to have an RFP proposal for this, which will make funds available and also, support available for developers looking to solve this issue. We're looking to take part in some upcoming hackathons, and actually we've got one or two that we're ready to announce. These are Cardano focused, nearly ready to announce. These are Cardano focused hackathons. So basically, I'd say that obviously it was a long time ago now. It was back in early April, I think, so that's basically a decade ago in terms of crypto. But we've moved past that, and hopefully by now it can be seen to anyone from the outside looking in that we're here to build these components and help with expand the Cardano ecosystem. And I think that'll become really apparent in the next couple of months, but we're not allowed to chat about that yet. But definitely some really cool stuff on the horizon. It's a super exciting time for us.
That's okay. Well, we can have you back on when you can actually talk about some of that information as well. And look, I was there when the IDO launched, and I seen all the negativity after it. And I think the tokenomics, what was released, again, it came down to the demand. It just wasn't expected. The demand that was going to be there on the day, it sold out in, I think, a couple of seconds or something like that. So it's very easy to look back and say, should have been this, should have been that. But the important part is learning from it and moving on, that can help with the IDOs that are launching on your platform. The positives were that the platform worked. It seemed to work fairly well on the day as well, even with the volume that was coming in. And the part that you mentioned there about the technical series, I actually read that article this morning and I learned a lot on it as well. I will, after this live stream, I will put a link down below to the Medium. It was over on Medium, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that down below. For anyone who's interested in, I suppose, some of the more technical side, it really was interesting to read. And I do like to see that. I don't like to see everything that it's brilliant, it's this, it's that, and only talking about all the positive stuff. We have to acknowledge the stuff that isn't perfect or isn't working right as well. That's the only way we can improve what's going on. So the fact that you're out there explaining it and actively looking for solutions does show to me anyway that you are invested in the future of where Cardano is going. Obviously, you guys need it to work for your platform to work. So it's great to see you're setting up the initiatives as well to find solutions to the problems that are out there, because no system works perfectly. Cardano looks like it's going to work really well, but there always will be, I suppose, roadblocks to be overcome along the way. But the process of your IDO Launchpad now, so I can see behind you, you have different logos, different upcoming IDOs. How do people actually get involved, or what's the process? There was a question in the comment or in the comments about really interested in OCC, but don't understand why launchpads have tokens. So that's probably a good introduction to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping, we could take that one. So thanks for asking that, Marcus. Yeah, so basically our token allows access to the tier structure that we have. So we've really thought of how we can democratize access to our IDOs. So we have to sort of have a token basically to register for the IDOs and to register interest. As we saw with our own IDO, when you don't have a registration system and it's like the floodgates are open, it doesn't work perfectly. It's not very seamless. So we have these tiers. They start at 150 OCC. So you stake 150 OCC. It's pretty similar to a lot of other launch pads. And then you slowly move up through the tiers. So each successive tier increases the amount that you can contribute to the IDO. It increases the amount of IDOs you can participate in. So say if you're in the fifth tier, which is 150 OCC, you have to wait a couple of IDOs. If you participated in one, you have to wait before two more have passed before you can participate in the next one. And also, the main thing about our token is that it contributes to our staking economy. So at the moment, there's a few different ways that token holders can be rewarded. We have cast out fees. So essentially, if you stake, when you unstake, there's a 4% cast out fee. And this seems like a lot at the at face value. But this fee is taken from people who leave the staking smart contract in a given month. And then the next month, the collective fees are distributed over everyone who's remained staked. So at the moment, the APY from that is nearly 11%, I think, when I checked this morning. So really quite high APY if you compare to like it's 4% fee for leaving, but it's an 11% reward that you get for staying. And then we have CED rewards, which are a really, really cool mechanism that our dev team have developed. And essentially CED rewards, as long as you stake 150 OCC for a certain amount of time before an IDO, usually 7 days before the IDO starts, you get a portion of that IDO's tokens, whether you buy in or not. So say, for instance, Iagon will launch, later this month. If you've got 150 OCC staked, it doesn't matter whether you participate in the Iagon IDO or not. You'll still receive some IAG tokens. It's sort of like a reward for our long-term token holders and staking participants. We've also made a feature where you can just let your CD rewards accumulate. So, for instance, you can collect CD rewards from Iagon, Card Wallet, Ledger T, Theos, and then claim them all at once so that you can minimize gas fees. So we're really looking for ways to bring value to our token holders over a long-term time period. So the token is sort of instrumental to both, giving access to IDOs, but also to reward our community members as well.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting the different mechanisms that are in there. Full disclosure, I'm not an OCC holder now, but obviously it's a project I'm interested in. I'm following along. This is kind of helping my own research a lot as well. Hopefully it does the same for people listening. So with the CED that I suppose you said you can accumulate it, that means that you don't claim the tokens from different IDOs. When you actually claim it, then do you get the tokens from the different IDOs, or is it all from the IDO when you actually claim?
Yeah, so it's the different IDOs. They all accumulate.
Okay.
You can claim whenever you want. So, you could get Iagon CD rewards in a couple of weeks from now. Usually CD rewards are distributed around 2 weeks after the IDO ends. And then you don't have to claim them. You could sit on them for a year if you wanted. You could see if they've gone like shot up in price and it's worth claiming obviously there's a balance there between gas fees and how many CD rewards you get. This won't be an issue though once we move to Cardano, because the fees are so low that it'll be really cost effective to just claim all your CD rewards. But yeah, you could you link your MetaMask wallet at the moment, and you could have like Iagon card wallet or Theos Ledger E tokens sitting there ready to claim, and you can claim whenever you want, and they'll be deposited into your wallet.
Okay, great. And just on the staking, so there is the fee for unstaking, but if I owned OCC and I stake now, can I just leave them staked? Does that count for every IDO, or do I have to restake every time?
Yeah, so this is one of the messages that we really want to convey. If you just stake and leave it staked, you'll be eligible for all the IDOs that are coming up, as long as you stake, in good time. So if you stake now, you would be eligible for Card Wallet, Ledger Theos, as long as you didn't unstake. So basically, it's basically like staking on Cardano. It's incentivized to just stake once to a pool and leave it in there, and generate staking rewards. So if you staked OCC now, you would start generating cast out fees, cast out rewards from the fees. You would be eligible for CD. If you staked over 150 OCC, you'd be eligible for the IDOs as well. So you'd get all these rewards and benefits from staking.
Great. Yeah, I had seen someone say, "Oh, you have to stake for individual IDOs," but I was thinking gas fees and stuff make that not cost effective for a lot of people. So it's great that it can go in once essentially, and you just leave it there to kind of earn on the side. It keeps earning different tokens for you. So upcoming projects, you've touched on a few of them. Do you want to mention what some of them are, or what we can expect?
Sure, yeah. So I've got my green screen, got some of them behind me. So Iagon is the first one coming up. So Iagon is a decentralized cloud computing provider. And they're building some really, really cool stuff for Cardano. So they've actually launched Cardano State Pool as well to contribute to the decentralization of the Cardano network. They've been pretty closely involved with the foundation and working with IOHK. So Iagon have been building for about 3 years now, and they've already been in receipt of some awards from the Norwegian government for like tech innovation. So they're based in Norway. So their IDO is going to be the first coming up. Their token's ticker is IAG. We had an AMA in our main Telegram channel, which is also recapped on our Medium if anyone wanted to check it out. So their CEO, Navjit, took about an hour and a half to answer every single question. So super long AMA. Next, after that, we have Card Wallet, which I think is that side of me. So Card Wallet, like a full stack wallet, non-custodial wallet solution for the Cardano ecosystem. So they'll allow you to not only store ADA, but also Cardano native tokens as well. And they're also going to provide fiat on and off ramps for Cardano and Cardano native tokens. They're going to be one of the first wallets to do that. They're releasing their team soon. There's going to be some familiar faces there. I know some of the team members personally. I've worked with them in the past. Really good team. They're definitely building some really cool components for Cardano. They're also going to have Apple Pay functionality as well. So quite excited for that one.
Yeah, it's definitely
Legity is a French project. Yeah, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. So they're one of our accelerator projects, actually. So they've come through like our incubator. So we work really closely with their team, and I can't wait to share some more info on that. And yeah, then we've got Legity and Theos. So Legity is like a private bank, like a digital private banking infrastructure. They're a French company. They just recently did an AMA in our channel as well, so they're building all of their components on Cardano. It's probably worth saying actually at this point that any IDO we do, in the due diligence we do with them, they have to display that they're building for the good of the Cardano ecosystem. Otherwise, we don't onboard them. They have to have a focus on Cardano. So Legity are really cool. Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, no, go ahead. I'll talk after.
And then, finally, Theos as well is an NFT minting platform. So Theos is founded by one of the co-founders of Virgin Galactic, Alex Tai, and he's got some really cool ideas for Theos. Its creative director is Matt Sorum as well, who is the ex-drummer of Guns N' Roses. And they've got some super cool creative economy ideas to build on Cardano. So they'll like sort of empower artists and musicians to create NFTs, but socially responsible NFTs. So you'll also be able to contribute to charities and stuff through NFT sales. So we're really excited about them as well.
Okay. We are coming, I've 2 or 3 questions left, but we are coming towards the end. If anyone has questions, put them into the comments and I will put them to Elliot as well. You brought up about the due diligence. That was something I meant to ask as well, on how you guys find projects that are coming that want to launch on Cardano and how you do your due diligence, because we've seen in the past, we see people come up with an idea, they put an industry name and put blockchain after it and they raise loads of funds. So how do you filter out projects that filter out the BS, I suppose, from what's going on?
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the reasons why launchpads, I think, are so important, because we have a team, like a legal team and a team of developers who ensure that projects actually have something to bring to the table. I'm probably long enough in the tooth to remember some projects that claimed back in early 2018 to build on Cardano. They were bullshit, basically, for lack of a better word, and I actually personally got burnt there. And I think it's really, really important to say that we do due diligence. They have to have a focus on Cardano. They also have to have already been exploring building Cardano components, or at least have like a solid audit on Solidity if they're currently Ethereum based. So we vet projects really closely. Projects apply to us generally. If we see a really early stage project that looks really promising, and some of these have maybe come through Catalyst already, or they're prominent members of the Cardano community, we might offer them to come through our accelerator program, which is essentially just an incubator. So yeah, the due diligence basically starts from that first call and lasts right up until the IDO begins. So it's a really important process for us.
Yeah, it's one that I suppose gets skipped when things were going really great a few months ago. If projects were launching, it was like, oh yeah, here's the money, just take whatever. And people were looking at the multiples that might come. So when we get into times like this, it's great to know that there is proper due diligence done behind the scenes, especially for people who are newer coming into it. Like you said there about seeing stuff coming up in 2018. I was around in that as well, 2017, 18. It was like, any idea, you can raise millions of dollars in no time at all. So it's great to know that there's proper teams out there doing the due diligence. So there is 2 questions kind of around the same thing, around, are you guys going to have a stake pool in Daedalus? The first one was from David about, will you create your own stake pool in Daedalus? And then the other one here was, are you guys going to have an IPO? I think that is the ISPO stake pool like SundaeSwap, but I'll let you touch on that.
Sure. So yeah, to go back to David's question, it's a really simple answer. Yes, we are looking at doing our own stake pool, and we're already in contact with some really veteran Cardano community members to do this. Our stake pool would not be, for pure profit in the traditional sense. We would look to put the profits from staking and delegation back into our accelerator program. So essentially, it would be like an infinity funding. So you could delegate to an Occam stake pool, and those funds would go straight back into building the ecosystem. That's a really good question. It's still something we're fairly, I guess, early days in exploring, but we definitely have that on the agenda. An IPO stake pool like Sunday Swap. So yeah, Sunday Swap are really, really cool. And I've been following them pretty closely. We may do something like that in the future. There's no plans to have like an IPO stake pool like that at the moment. But yeah, we'll certainly be looking for ways we can work with other Cardano entities.
Great. Yeah, and then Caroline said, can we stake it through Yoroi wallet? I take it that is for the Launchpad, but right now, actually, I'll let you answer that.
So yeah, obviously, right now, as the smart contracts don't exist on Cardano, unfortunately not. But as soon as they become available, Yoroi will probably, function like MetaMask does. So it'll be an access to Web3 on Cardano, or hopefully, I think that's the plan. So yeah, Yoroi could well be the MetaMask of Cardano. So that should be available. It might be available.
I seen an update there recently that they are working on basically Yoroi will be the equivalent of MetaMask. So anyone storing funds in there will be able to interact with smart contracts and any websites that have smart contracts. So I don't think we have anything else in the comments. If there's anything you want to say, closing out anything we might have missed or anything like that, let me know. And any links that we talked about, I'll get you to send me some of them. I'll find some of them myself and I'll put them in the in the description down below.
Sure, yeah, that'd be really, really good. I think we've pretty much covered everything. The time's sort of flown by, actually. I didn't realize we'd done 40 minutes already. But yeah, thanks for having us. And I hope we can come on, soon again and maybe give you some more updates on what we've been working on.
Yeah, sounds good. I definitely got a lot of value myself. It's helped me in my own research. Hopefully it has helped lots of others that get to see this as well. And anyone who did get the value, please do share it out. Did I miss a question here? I don't see a question. Lamin said, not my question. I don't see a question from you anywhere in the chat. But if you put it down below, I will answer, or I will get Elliot to answer it anyway if it's something related to OccamFi. Thanks very much, Elliot. I do appreciate your time. It was great to get an update on everything that's going on. So thanks, and we will talk again soon.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me. See you soon.